Welcome back to the channel, guys. Hey, we are going to be continuing working on this four-seater, specifically these shocks back here. So we got to come up with some sort of mounts or tabs up there for not only the coilover but the triple bypass or the bypass shock. So that's what this episode is going to be all about, and to include probably some more tubing on the back end to really start finishing up the structural design of this thing. So if you guys are interested, stick around and check it out. Alrighty, so got this tube tacked in there, heavy tacked in there. But anyways, yeah, and it follows the curvature of that tube right there, the angle of that tube. So this one's good to go. We just got to start putting in those tabs, but before I do that, I need those tabs removed, and I got to start building one of those boxes or whatever, those tab pair right there. So we'll get on that next. Okay, new day in the shop. We got this all welded in there, all the tabs yesterday, all those are good. Tabs there, good. Tabs over there, good, and those are good. So we started welding in some tubing. I got this piece and that piece in, which I need to get one here and basically one here. Get those tubes in, and I'm gonna add another tube in between this point and this point, just so it looks decent. We got a tube here, and then in. So we'll start adding some tubes. Once this tube is here, we can start tying this to that center cage area, so we can kind of finish out that and see what we come up with. So that's the game plan. Alrighty guys, I have all the tubes that I think I'm gonna be putting on this thing in the back completed. So got all the welding done, so everything looks real good. I got the speaker mounted up there. We'll angle it back a little bit, and then I got the pack out in there. What's cool is you can put 3, maybe 4 pack outs in there and have plenty of tools with you or whatever else you're carrying. Plus there's still this area for a cooler, soft cooler, or maybe like a tall rectangular cooler. So that's all in there. But this is a huge milestone, getting all the tubes done. Super happy with the way it looks. It's freaking should be strong as ever. I mean, all the tying into the shock mounts, I feel like you could jump this sucker pretty good. So yeah, so I don't know what's next. We'll have to jump on something, and I might pull the front seats out and then really start messing with fuel and wiring. So that's pretty much what's remaining, and then we'll see where we go from there. All right, we are on our own weight. So these aren't going to be the shocks he's going to be using. He's got new one. This one's really bent, but he's got some new shocks. He's going to be ordering without reservoirs, because when you go to triple bypasses or bypass shocks, you no longer have valving, so you no longer have a reason for the remote portion of it. So yeah, I did see something that I don't like. So if he wants to run it like this, that line is freaking close to that tube, and I don't know why I didn't notice that before, but it's too close to run this as is. I do have a solution to it. I just gotta get the engine hoist back out and move this shock to this location, and then the reservoir hose would be coming this direction, so it would be able to flex in and out of this groove, and it will be good to go. So probably got to take this back off, put them in the other location, flip them, and then it'll be good to go on these shocks if he wants to use these, or if he orders new shocks right away, this comes out, just put the new ones in, and then away you go. So we'll see what he wants to do, but yeah, we're sitting on our own weight. We're perfectly level, which is pretty cool. This could go down probably 2 or 3 inches in the rear. So if we can bring the rear down 2 or 3 inches, the front can also come down 2 or 3 inches, because this is quite a bit of clearance off of this. Not only that, but I had them order 2-inch bump stops. So these are 4-inch bump stops, so it'll be 2 there. Oh yeah, we can come down probably 3 in the front and 3 in the rear, and that'll lower the whole buggy down just a little bit nicer. I mean, 3 inches, that's quite a bit. You'll notice that when it's 3 inches lower for sure. So anyways, moving into the fuel lines. So these lines are very old. I think they're probably 6 years old, maybe longer than that, 7 years old. And they're spliced. So this goes from here, hose clamped onto just some steel tubing. Steel tubing all the way up front, where I used to have a pressure gauge, which has been bypassed. So now it's spliced again there, spliced there, going up. Finally gets the fuel rail. So we're going to fix all that, do one nice AN line all the way to the back. I'm going to add a fuel pressure gauge right here, just because I like knowing my fuel pressure on the rig when you have any sort of issues out in the woods. So additional to that, we got the pump down there. This is the kind of like Corvette regulator, I think they pretty much call this, and it's got a return off of it. We need to mount all that on this bar, so it'll be nice and clean behind the seat, and everything will be now mounted safely. So that's what I want to work on now. Let's get to getting. All right, that turned out awesome. So yeah, that's pretty much done. This is just your vent with a rollover. It's got a rollover valve or rollover ball valve thing already in it. So this just vents to somewhere in the rear of the buggy. And then you got your pressure or your in to the pump, return off the filter, and then now it's time to feed that line all the way up to the front. However, I think I'm gonna pull the seats out to do that. The seats gotta come out anyways, so we can put the new ones in, but I think I'm gonna pull the seats next and get that line from there to the front. Yeah. Alrighty guys, new day in the shop. I think, actually it snowed here in Little Rock. Pretty fun. Not much, but enough to not be at work today. So yeah, I think today we're gonna be spending with cutting some of this wiring out. Well, all the wiring out. So even the engine harness and engine management system is going to be replaced by a Holley unit. So he's got a Holley unit in the box back down there, so it'll have its own screen. I'm gonna probably redo some of the configuration here, and then all of the wiring. So I'll probably keep the fuse box, but all new wires will be going to it. And then yeah, all of the wiring will be replaced. So that I think is what I'm gonna work on next. So let's start removing some of this wiring. Man guys, whoever built this buggy needs to put away the self-tappers. All right, there we got it. That is pretty much all the wiring removed in this thing. So got the engine stuff out. It needs a new battery. This battery was pretty much shot probably 3 years ago. So it is. You can put it on the charger, you can hear it sizzling and doing all sorts of bad stuff. So we'll get a new battery put in this thing and then start rewiring all this. That's basically step one. I think I'm going to start with the engine harness first. So the new Holley unit, I'll probably get that installed first and then start working off that. Just start tying in basically to you know, whatever it is, go into the ignition, we'll run the ignition wires there, and then I'm gonna use this fuse block one more time, and that switch unit over there is pretty sweet. I love those things, so we're gonna reuse that and tie into, you know, all these circuits. So this has internal relays in it, which is pretty sweet, and they'll show you like 30 amp on this circuit, 20 amps on this circuit, 10, 10, 5, 5. So, and you can always use an external relay if you want to use the 5 as your trigger wire. So you can hit the button and it uses 5 amps just to trigger a different relay to turn on, and that way it'll power a high, you know, another 30 amp circuit or 40 amp circuit. So whatever you need. Anyways, pretty freaking cool. Let's kind of open up this Holley unit and see what we're working with here. Alrighty guys, so here it is, the Terminator X with the 24X reluctor set. But yeah, self-learning EFI system with a 3.5 inch color touchscreen. So let's see what this thing's all about. Alright, I don't know what that is. I don't know what this is. I don't know what that is. No, I'm just kidding. So these look like your injector harness. Doesn't say passenger or driver side. Is that both of them? They're split, so we'll figure out that. What is this? It's the screen. Nice. All right, so that's our little touchscreen unit, I guess. Something that's cool about that, I got a water resistant or a weather resistant case for this thing that I can mount to the steering column, so that's pretty cool. It should help out, because this is not waterproof, so this thing will get destroyed if you just sit there and let rain hit it and spray it with pressure washers and stuff. So there's a 3D printed company. I can't remember what the company's called. If I remember, maybe I'll put a link on the screen, but yeah, they make an enclosure for it, so it's weatherproof. So anyways, there's our screen. That looks like a harness plug for the coil packs. So that'll plug into your coil pack thing. I don't know if there's an adapter for it. Oh, it comes with, look like O2 sensor. So it comes with O2 sensor. I didn't realize that. So nice. I don't see two of them. Maybe it just runs off one bank. We'll see. An extension, or I'm not real sure. Same thing. It looks like one of the plugs for the coil packs. So, all right, let's see what's in the box. In the box. What is this? Well-down bung. Maybe some vacuum plugs. What is that thing? A stylus? You got a stylus with your cool screen? All right, instructions. I like that. We'll look at that in a second. What goes in here? Ooh, that's your computer. Your pewter. Look like vacuum goes to it or something? That's crazy. I don't know what that is. All right, let's start reading some instructions. So alrighty guys, that's gonna be it pretty much. Just gotta figure out a spot to mount this, probably where the old ECU is. Let's mount that up first. And then this basically is your power cable, so that's pretty easy. We'll cut probably 10 feet off of that because our battery's literally on the other side of the wall. And then let's start probably just popping this into place. Roughly, this part goes in the ECU side. And then we'll figure out a mount for this relay. I forget what these are called. This is fuse. So that fuse. And then we'll start messing around with some of the other harnesses on here and see if we can't figure out where they all go. So let's start with mounting that bad boy. Okay, so I zipped ahead without the camera rolling just because wiring is pretty tedious and it's really hard to capture actually what I'm doing on camera. So I just didn't record any of it. So we're moving right along though. This whole thing is pretty much installed. I wouldn't say installed, but it's built out, wired on the back. We still got some speaker wires we got to put in. So these are speaker outputs back here. Let's see, this is a reverse camera wire, so this needs to be in its own loom just because you can't run this next to a power or else it kind of comes in fuzzy or glitchy. We got a new fuse block up in here. This is a pretty cool one. I found this online. This is ignition activated or accessory activated, so as soon as you turn the key to accessory or ignition, this terminal will get hot, which powers the whole thing. So pretty cool. That is all wired in. This is your switchboard, so this again. So we ended up moving this down to here, just the fan switch down to here, just because this is a 30 amp circuit up here. So we ended up, so that's what I'm using as one of the fan for the front fans, not the main fans, but the front fans, which is like power steering and transmission, I think. So those will be ran off that. Other than that, we got all the main battery cables completed, all the heavy ones. Don't have any grounds hooked up just because I don't want grounds hooked up right now, just for sparky reasons. But anyways, these will these are the negatives. There's new tabs welded on here for all the grounds. Ground there, ground there, ground in the front, ground in the back, so it's well grounded. Moving on to the front, we got this wiring still to button up. This should just be, let's see here, this one would be your headlights, actual headlights, so I got to wire those in. This has the DLRs, or the daytime running lights, on them, which is pretty cool, and they actually work still. I tried them. So I'm going to wire those back in, and then really that's pretty much it. Just tidy up everything, make sure it's all wire loom tied up, zip tied everywhere, and then we will, I'll just skip forward on all that stuff and do another video when it's close to completed or completed. So let's get back to work on wiring. Alrighty guys, so we are pretty much, I'd say 95% wired, and everything's been zip tied up and organized the best I can, so we're looking pretty good on the wiring. However, I did want to try and get this thing to fire up. I've never done one of these Terminator X's before, so I'm just basically gonna follow the instructions and see if we can't get it to calibrate, or the run wizard, or whatever this thing is, and get something running. So that's what I'm gonna try right now. Let's see what happens. And this isn't mounted yet, this is just kind of sitting in there. I gotta mount that. Probably after it starts up, I'll probably mess with mounting this, getting all the tabs for that on there. And then we still got the exhaust to do. I'm not sure what I want to do there yet, but we're still gonna modify this exhaust or run some new exhaust out there. So anyways, doing pretty good. Let's work on trying to get her to fire up. All right, it says initial power up. Turn the key to run position, should apply power to the ECU, as well as Terminator X. I would say we got power. Home screen contains icons to navigate through different functions. Cool. All right. Do not replace this card with another. Handheld navigation in use, make an adjustment, sidebar list. Great. Home screen. Cool. Terminator X system will build a custom calibration with your engine based on a few answers. To begin, choose Wizard's icon from main menu. So let's go. Okay. Perform TPS. Okay. Wizard. Choose the GCF Wizard icon. GCF Wizard. Multi-port fuel injection. Oh, next. GMLS. Oh. Power over here. Next. 8 cylinders. Next. GM firing order. Next. Cubic inches, baby. Next. Engine size. Whoa. What's on here? Well, let's go back. Let's do liters. Back. Do liters. Next. Ha! Looks more familiar. We got a 5.3. Target idle. Let's try, I think my buggy is at like 700, so let's try 700. We'll do 680. You know what? I'm feeling crazy. Next. Next. Next says, make a selection that matches the cam specs of your engine. I don't know what's in this thing. It says, if you don't know your exact camshaft specs, choose selection 1. That sounds good. Yeah. Should be a 24 tooth reluctor on this thing. Fuel pressure should be 60 psi. Injectors. We just got some OEM GM ones on here. OEM, GM next. Let's see. Choose the part number of injector that matches what is installed on your engine. I don't know that. Let me get out and look. All right. 25317 back. All right. Says map. Map sensor. Gen 3. GM Gen 3 should be that one. Next. Art. Recycle key. Recycle is complete. Oh, we got a fuel pump. Perform a TPS auto setup before startup. TPS auto setup. After completed calibration wizard, the next step is to perform a TPS auto set. This must be done on a brand new system, otherwise injectors and ignition will not be fired by the ECU. Alright, well, let's go do that. So in wizards, TPS auto set. Make sure ignition is on and engine is not started. Okay? Slowly press down pedal to floor. Then slowly release. Do this twice. Okay. Next. TPS auto set was successful. Done. Okay. With the key on and off, these sensors should read as follows. Engine RPM, stall. Yeah. Map should read 95 to 102. 98, good to go. TPS should say 0, 0. CTS, coolant temp sensor, 77. Cool. Battery, 12 volts minimum. Got it. Any of these sensors do not attempt to start. Alright, so we're good there. Startup. This vehicle should be ready to be started. See what the happens, I guess. God damn, that thing just took off like a racehorse. I wonder why it lit off like 1,000 miles an hour. Maybe we can move the idle down? I don't really know, it just happens. Let me try it again, I guess. A little smoky in here. Nope, I don't like that. Well, I'm stupid. So the reason why is there's a ginormous hole in the intake. So I took this block off plate off because I was potentially going to drill it and install the manifold air temperature sensor in this thing and then put it back, which I still might do. I'm not 100% sure yet. However, this is why it's revving to the sky, is because I have a giant ass hole in the manifold. So we're gonna plug that, run it again, see what it does. Okay. Fix giant hole in intake. See what it does now. All right. Showing good. And we're back. That's a win. She runs. Sounds great. Still more to do though. I mean, it's not finished, but I'm glad it runs and starts and seems like it wants to do something. Alrighty guys, I am calling it quits on the video there. We got this thing running. We'll be driving as soon as I get the brakes bled. However, that'll be in the next video, along with mounting this front seats, replacing just a couple more bars on this thing, and then I don't know, really wrapping it up. So we're getting close. Check it out on the next video. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace.